mean. You're mean. I am enjoying this deeply. I love memes so much. Keep doing it.
Sorry if the lighting is really bad. I really wanted to do this in the daytime, but then I went shopping, and then the sun set, and I was like, oh, crud. I bought lemonade, though. That makes me happy. It was cloudy today anyway. How much daylight could I really get? Because it was raining. It wasn't really raining, but it was just really cloudy. Does it ever actually rain, or does it just get really cloudy and then kind of sprinkle every once in a while? I feel like that's how it is in Arizona. It just kind of sprinkles every once in a while. Monsoon season, everyone. It just gets really freaking humid. So this week is a fandom week, and I'm going to tell you the fandoms I'm in and kind of why. I'm in a lot of fandoms, so I'm going to try and talk really, really fast and avoid being really weird and unnecessary, because this video is going to end up being really long if I get weird with everything I do. So the first fandom I was ever in was the Jonas Brother fandom. It really wasn't a fandom, because like I feel like there wasn't much communication between people that could go on. Like if you knew someone personally who liked the Jonas Brothers, that was your fandom. Like everybody kind of had their own little local fandoms. You feel me? I had a fat head above my bed of them. I really liked them. Nick was my favorite, because Nick was cute. I used PowerPoint to make like a collage of him, but it was all the same picture of him, because I really liked his curly hair, and I'm like, I really want this. And so like I made a collage of pictures of the same picture of him, and it was like my wall screen on my computer, and that was like the equivalent of a fandom back in the day, because like there wasn't anything you could do. Like I don't think there was a Tumblr back then, and if there was, then nobody was using it. Everybody was on like MySpace, and I didn't have a MySpace because I was like 9, and like I'm so glad I never had a MySpace, because like I feel like that's the internet equivalent of the scene phase. I loved the Jonas Brothers. I still listen to them all the time. I still know all the words to all their songs. I always forget like stuff about school, but I will never forget the words to the Jonas Brothers songs. They were great. When their new song Pom Poms came out, I almost died, because I'm like, the Jonas Brothers have a new song. Oh gosh, the Jonas Brothers. They were great. Me and Emily talk about it all the time. We're like, the Jonas Brothers though. And like I had a picture of Nick Jonas as my wall screen the other day. Like my lock screen actually, on my phone. And like it was like a really creepy picture of him though, where like he's like, I don't like the way he's looking at you. So it was zoomed in really close to his face. And every time I unlocked my phone, I was just like, it's Nick Jonas. It was funny. But now it's a picture of Luke Hemmings, because Luke Hemmings looks fine always. I wish I was Luke Hemmings. I wonder what it's like to be like the most attractive person ever. You see me? Oh gosh. And then the One Direction fandom I am in, because my cousins were like, oh, you listened to One Direction back in like 2011 when I was listening to What Makes You Beautiful when it first came out, because like, yeah, they're cool. Yeah, I loved them. I'm like, I am enjoying this deeply. And they kind of pulled me into the fandom. They're like, pick a favorite. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you need to have a favorite. And I'm like, what do you mean favorite? Can't I just listen to their music? And they're like, no, that's not enough. It's like, okay. And then I picked Liam as my favorite. Over time, I chose Niall, but it was like, it was still towards the beginning. I feel like a couple weeks afterwards, I'm like, nope, Niall. Niall's my favorite. Niall's cute. I like Niall. Niall's good. And now Niall is still my favorite, because Niall! 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 Oh, Niall. I remember all those really old memes. I probably still have like a crap ton of One Direction memes on my computer. I'm gonna look at them all later. I love memes so much. Is there a fandom for memes? Oh, there needs to be a meme fandom. Yes. Yes. But yeah, towards the beginning of being in the One Direction fandom, I did not know the difference between Liam and Harry, because they looked almost the same, and I didn't care about Zayn. I still don't care about Zayn. When Zayn left the band, I was like, yep, sucks for people who actually care about Zayn. And like, I let everybody feel bad for themselves, like, as it first went down, and then he kind of started his own solo career, and everyone was like, you butthole, and I'm just kind of like, oh, everybody hates him now. This makes me feel less bad for hating him, like, from the beginning. Like, I felt less bad afterwards. I was like, oh, good, no one else likes him anymore, so it's okay that I never liked him. Then Louis started becoming more and more, like, up on my list. Like, I never really cared about Louis, but now I'm just kind of like, Louis, yes. He is super sassy. I am loving it. He just knows what he's doing. Keep doing you. And then, of course, being in the One Direction fandom, I feel like a lot of us got pulled into the 5 Seconds of Summer fandom. Because 5 Seconds of Summer opened up for One Direction. Thank you, Niall, I think, is the one who discovered them. I don't know, because I don't pay attention to all that much stuff. I am not as big of a fangirl as anybody in any of the fandoms, which makes me really happy that I'm not, like, hardcore creepy. Bless my soul. So, yeah. And I kind of started listening to them because everyone's like, oh, 5 Seconds of Summer. And I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. And I'm like, they're great, I love this, they have really good music, and like, I like them better than One Direction now because their music sounds better, and they're all just generally cooler. No offense to One Direction, but your first couple of albums weren't that good, your third one was subpar, and then your fourth one was good. 4 was good, that was a good album. But I feel like a lot of people were like, yeah, is that like foreshadowing someone to leave? And then everyone's like, no! And then like Zayn left and we're all like, ha! Oh, Spaces, that song makes so much sense now. Who's gonna be the first to say goodbye? And it was Zayn, and I'm like, oh well. But yeah, 5 Sauce. I think I started listening to them a little bit before or after Wherever You Are came out, like their music video, and I'm like, they are awesome. I didn't like become like super deep fan until She Looks So Perfect, and like I was posting about it on Facebook. I'm like, you guys, this song is awesome. And then like later on, maybe like a couple weeks, maybe a month later, it was on the radio and people were like, oh, this is a good song, and I'm like, what? Didn't I tell you this? And they're like, no. And they're like, yeah, I did. I told you this. I said it was a good song. Do you see how on my Instagram feed it says I was listening to them at this point in time? And then like later on at this point in time, you said they were good. I hate to have that like, that whole I listened to it before it was cool thing, but it's not just that. It's like, I listened to it before it was cool, and you made fun of me for liking it because it wasn't cool yet. So I was like, whatever, dude. Whatever. You suck. Oh no, I'm thinking of that really crappy Abigail Breslin song that she wrote about Michael. She tried to pull a Taylor Swift, but no one can do Taylor Swift like Taylor Swift. God, Taylor Swift is amazing. She is awesome. I don't really listen to her music, but as a person, she is like, yes, she is like the human equivalent of a cat, and I think that's awesome. You know what else is the human equivalent of a cat? Michael. He's my favorite. Towards the beginning was Ashton, and then like I tried to get my sister to be into them. Like I kind of got her into One Direction, and even though like she listened to them first, like I heard her listening to them and I'm like, oh, I like this song, and so I started listening to them, but I kind of like pulled her into the fandom. I'm like, hey, and she liked Louis, and then I told her, I'm like, you should listen to 5 Sauce, Michael's your favorite, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, Michael would be your favorite, you would like Michael, and cause like I thought, like, I'm like, yeah, she would like Michael, that seems like a thing she would like, and then like, me and her are very similar, so in a way that was me kind of thinking, like, that was kind of like a foreshadowing to, yo, Jenna, you like Michael. And then like she was like, she saw him, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Michael is scary looking, and I'm all like, you're mean. And so yeah, and then like And later on she's like, you're right, I like Michael. And I'm like, no, Michael's mine. I like Michael, go away. And that's when I figured out that Michael's my favorite. Michael's great, he's adorable, he's hilarious. I don't really like Ashton much anymore. Like, it's not just like he's not my favorite, it's kind of just like I'm slowly liking you less and less. Like, I'm starting to not like you. Like, there's liking, there's being indifferent, and then there's not liking, and I'm starting to be less and less indifferent. The more, like, things go on, and I don't know why. Like, I feel like he doesn't do anything, but I just, like, start to like him less and less. Whoops. I don't know. I'll always have, like, this underlying thing with Callum, though, because he always looks good. And so I'm just kind of like... Callum. Remember when his nudes came out? I do. Luke looks really good. Like, recently he's been looking good. So much of my anxiety went away when he shaved his beard, because I'm like, oh, thank God you don't look 25 anymore. Because he's less than a year older than me, and I'm like, you look old. And it's scary. It's scary how old you look. But in the kind of like, you look way too old for me, for it to be like morally acceptable for me to be attracted to you, even though I am attracted to people in like their 40s. We'll talk about that later. I just threw a crumb at the wall. A crumb of what? I don't know. It looked kind of like a cornflake, but I don't eat cornflakes. Anyway, TV shows and stuff. Actually, no. I'm gonna tell you like my borderline fandoms that I'm in. Halsey. I'm starting to become more and more into Halsey. 21 Pilots are really good, and I have a low battery thing. Oh no. Watch my phone fall when I hit the button. Go away. Okay. 21 Pilots. They're good. Josh is my favorite. He is adorable. He's kind of like an older version of Michael Clifford. Colorful hair, really adorable. A pure little heart. A little precious snowflake, a little cinnamon roll. A delectable cupcake. All those weird phrases that you have for people. Like those weird affectionate phrases where you just kind of call them like food and a really nice adjective. Like like a peaceful breadstick. What does the world come to where like these are terms of affection? Fall Out Boy. I'm not in the fandom, but I like them a little too much for it to be normal. Like, I always forget the fact that not everybody knows every single Fall Out Boy song, and then I'm just kind of like, oh, right. Yeah. Fall Out Boy's good. Listen to everything they have. Everything. Okay, but like, I feel like with them, it's like every song that I didn't think I liked, it ended up being my favorite. Like, when I first heard Immortals, I was like, not really into it, because everyone's all like, you either don't like it, or you want to shove it up. Yeah, that was what they said. It's like, you either hate it, or you want to shove it up your butt. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I hate it then, because I didn't really like it. Like, the first time I heard it, I'm like, it doesn't really sound like Fall Out Boy. And then, like, I heard it again and again, and then I'm like, Immortals. Yes, I want to shove that up my butt. Okay, I didn't say that, but it's good, I like it. And then Uma Thurman, I'm like, I don't like this song all that much. But then, like, because I was just kind of like, because I thought it was weird. I was kind of like, but then, like, one day I was listening to it on, like, All My Music by Fall Out Boy on shuffle, and, like, I wasn't really paying attention to it, and then I got to the second verse, and that one part where it's like, I slept in last night's clothes and tomorrow's dreams, I'm like, yes, what song is this? And then I'm like, oh, it's this one that I don't like, and then I listened to it again, and I'm like, yes, Yes. Yes. Okay. TV fandoms. Teen Wolf. I don't remember why I started watching it. Honestly, I really don't. But I just kind of started watching it for whatever reason. I don't remember why. I just started watching Teen Wolf at some point, but the first season wasn't really that good, honestly. Like, looking back on it, it was bad. It was a bad season. And, like, this season 2 was good. Season 3A was good. Season 3B was good until they killed Allison and Aiden and Isaac left, and literally everyone good on the show always leaves. They always leave. After season 4, Derek left. Now, I cannot ship Steric anymore because Derek is gone. Even though they have little tiny Steric moments still. I never shipped him with Lydia because Lydia doesn't deserve him. He was like in love with her for so long and she never even looked at him. She never cared. And I'm like, why do you ship them? They have zero chemistry. They kissed like once, but that's just because they kind of wanted to distract you from the fact that the writers of this show really hate us and they want to cause us pain, and they don't, and nothing in the show really ties together. Like, if you ignore all of the like blinding of it, like they have a lot of stuff in there that blinds you from the fact that none of the plot makes sense. Like, there are gaps in the plot where you're kind of like, wait, no. And like, so they're always doing something to distract you from what's actually going on. They're always killing off characters, making really unnecessary things. Lydia does not need a man, and yet they're like, oh, Lydia and Parrish. Yeah, I like Parrish though. They're actually kind of cute together, and I hate that I like them together because she doesn't need a man, especially now. Like, she is like, they always have to, everyone has to be in a relationship always, and I'm like, no. She was so good on her own. As soon as Jackson left, she became like powerful, and then like they're like Aiden, and then like that kind of like pulled her down away from like the powerful woman thing, and I'm like, no, please, no, stop this. And just no, they were always trying to give characters someone to be with. I feel like Scott and Kira didn't really have a reason to be together in the beginning. Their relationship is still kind of weird to me, but I guess they're like kind of cute. But him and Allison were like meant to be. Malia, her entire character makes no sense to me. She would still have the mental state of an 8-year-old if she's been a coyote since she was 8. She would not have grown in maturity at all. She would still be like an 8-year-old. Only like since she was an animal, like I guess she would still have like, she'd be like an 8-year-old with a sex drive, and that's just really creepy, and her entire character pisses me off. And her and Styles have no reason to be together. Like, she's in like a mental hospital with him, and then he like kisses her, and he's like, is that your first kiss? She's like, yep. And then they have sex. I'm like, okay, all right then. And then they're like together, and I'm just kind of like, okay, this is unnecessary, and I do not like you. Just no. Me and Jenny and Rosie can complain about that to no end. We can complain about her character forever and ever and ever, and we will never stop because, oh, it just, no. But yeah, I have a feeling this entire season is gonna piss me off to no end because, like, the Teen Wolf writers are just, no. Jeff Davis is drunk off his own power, and it's like, I am done with you. I don't want to deal with this anymore. That's what being in a fandom is. It's just being like so far up inside you cannot do anything about it, and like everything pisses you off, and you're like, you know what, I hate you. I'm stuck here. What am I gonna do? Leave? I can't leave. I'm too far into this. That's what fandoms are. It's hating everything that goes on. But rather than leaving, you just complain about it. Supernatural. I started watching that a little over a year ago. Before season 9 came out, I think. Somewhere around season 9, I started watching it because my friends told me to watch it. I would have stopped watching it unless they said, watch it until Castiel gets there. And I'm like, fine, I'll watch it until Castiel gets there. I would have stopped if they hadn't told me to do that. And then, like, I was like, I don't like Castiel. He's kind of a butt. And they're like, no, you'll like him. Trust me. Just keep watching it. I'm like, okay, I'll keep watching. So I kept watching. And then I'm like, I'm loving Castiel. I'm loving all these characters. Everything that is going on right now is absolutely awesome. And then, like, the seasons started, it kind of started off as just, like, little mini horror episodes, and then it was, like, plot, deepened plot, deepness, and then it just got really dark and really sad, and now I'm kind of, like, everything that happens in that show right now is kind of depressing, and I am really hoping that the next season really brings out, like, the creepiness again, because they released the darkness, and I feel like it's gonna kind of be, like, it's kind of like the apocalypse all over again, and, like, that was a good time. The apocalypse was a good time. I'm loving it. I loved it. I forgot how they stopped the apocalypse. Everything that happens in that show makes me mad, especially the fact that they have so much queer baiting. I feel like Charlie is the only gay character on that show. And, like, Destiel, though, that is, like, the hugest queer bait in history, honestly. Like, it has been blatantly said that Dean is, like, hella hetero. And it's like, well, Castiel technically isn't a male. He's just an angel inside of a guy's body. So, like, people are always trying to, like, extend it, and they're like, no, but, like, but this, and you're like, no, they're not gonna be together. The writers don't want it. They just want you to think that it's gonna happen. So, like, I still ship them. I still think that they have, like, a huge thing. But it's more of just, like, a best friend thing that everybody really wishes was a romantic thing. This show makes me cry a lot, honestly. Like, I actually cry. At the end of season 9, I cried. I cried like a baby. Not even gonna lie. I cried so hard. But that's all that show is just pain. Like, it just gets worse. Like, the first season sucked, and it just gets worse. It's so much pain. Just hoping the next season isn't painful, even though I feel like it's gonna be. Because at this point, I feel like Sam and Dean are just kind of like, you're my brother, so I kind of have to keep you alive, I guess. Even though everything you've ever really done for, like, the past 10 years has been kind of like, why? They're making terrible decisions, and it's just like, I don't understand. I really don't. Doctor Who. I'm gonna tell you all of the stuff I don't like about Doctor Who. I feel like my friend also told me to watch Doctor Who. And I had heard this girl on my soccer team talk about Doctor Who, and she's like, oh yeah, it's this guy, he's the doctor. And, like, but he can, like, change bodies. And, like, in my mind, I thought it was, like, this guy who was, like, an actual medical doctor. And in every single episode, he was a different person. And it was, like, really confusing to me, because I'm like, I don't understand this. And then when I actually watched it, I'm like, oh, okay. Alright, and I love episodes, or, like, I love shows where, like, there's, like, a specific case in every episode. Like, in The Flash, there's, like, a new villain every episode, and in Doctor Who, there's a new alien, and in Supernatural, there's a new monster, and sometimes the same ones will come back and cause trouble, and I just love stuff like that. It's always really cool, and Dexter kind of did that, and Teen Wolf not so much, but, like, I just love shows that do that, because it's really cool, and I need to stop playing with that because it's making noise. I liked the whole concept of it never really ending, because the Doctor can keep regenerating, and, like, so, like, it's been going on for, like, over 50 years. I haven't watched any of the episodes, like, from, like, the original part. I started watching it the 9th Doctor, because, like, that was, like, the modern ones. I might go back and watch the other ones, but, like, we'll see if I have time. I probably won't, because I'm really far behind on a lot of shows. I didn't like Martha. I didn't like her. I thought she was trying too hard. I think Clara tries too hard. She tried to get with the 11th Doctor. Like, she was like, I don't she's flirting with him all the time. And I'm like,
Stop, please. Please stop. Never again. Do not do that. Leave it alone. It's not happening. Please just don't. And no, she kept doing it. They're like, I hate you.
and then she became, like, super important.
She's like, I'm the girl who saved the Doctor. I'm like, no, I don't care. You're still annoying. I still hate you.
And then I feel like the 9th Doctor doesn't get enough appreciation because he did an awesome job. Like, he was really good. And, like, he doesn't get enough, like, hype because he was like older, I guess. People were like, he wasn't cute. And like I feel like people wanted the Doctor to get cuter and cuter, and like it weeded out a lot of the fans when like the new Doctor came in, because they're like, oh, he's old, I don't want to watch the show anymore because he's not like this hot guy and he's not all quirky, it's not gonna be like the Doctor anymore. But I was like, yeah, this guy seems like he'll be good. And I was right, he does a really good job as the Doctor. I don't like the Doctor himself though. The Doctor right now is kind of being a butt. Like, he's just kind of depressed, and I'm like, stop being depressed, Doctor, please, just don't do this anymore. I don't want to deal with it. I didn't think I would like Donna, because I'm like, oh, she's gonna be old, how fun could she be as a companion? But she was awesome. I loved her. She was super sassy, and she took none of the Doctor's crap. She's like, no, just no. And then Rose was really amazing. I loved Rose. Rose was like the perfect companion, and her and Ten were like getting emotional. Sherlock, queerbaiting on Sherlock is also a thing, because everyone's like, oh, Sherlock and Watson are perfect together, and we'll like, you're right, but it's not gonna happen. You're stretching for this right now. You really want it to happen, and they're like, yes, you want this to happen. Continue watching just to see if it will happen, even though it's never gonna happen, because writers will do that to people. That show hasn't been on for a while. I don't know if it's ever coming back on, and they made it seem like there's gonna be another season. I haven't heard anything from that show, so like, as far as I'm concerned, it's done. Whatever. Less crap I have to deal with, honestly. Fandoms, I'm in way too many of them, and I'm done dealing with it. Is there a meme fandom? That needs to be a thing. Have I already said that? I don't know. Meme fandom needs to be a thing. I would be in the meme fandom. Oh, I love memes. And I'm done. Goodbye. I will see you guys next week. I post every Wednesday, so come and check me out every Wednesday for my whatever this is. Whatever all this is. It happens every Wednesday. Well, it happens every day, but you get to witness it every Wednesday, so. I have to live with this every day. Every day. I'm gonna go now because I'm crazy. Goodbye.
Snick Jonas.